Hello out there, up there, down there, all around the world, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to Inkquiring Minds live stream. This is November, December, January. This is the 4th in a continuing series of live streams. We'll see. They're all catch as catch can. We'll see what happens. And good morning to all of you. Good evening to all of you. Good, very, very early morning to some of you out there in, let's see, it's 5 a.m. in Sydney. So, hi. Who have we got here? There's Diego, first one in. Atta boy, Diego. Strongwig, hi. There's TJ. Yorkshire, hello Yorkshire. There's Teresa. Hey Teresa. Good morning, Russell. Nice to see you. And Daniel from Switzerland. He's always on time. ODE, hey! Is this the first time you've been here, ODE? It's good to see you. Harry, hello. Me again. Yes, we've seen you before. Welcome back, Harry. Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Can everybody hear me okay? I spent the first 5 minutes of January's live stream talking to no one because my mic was muted. Bernice from Mexico. Hola. Hello from Germany. That's Sasa Reids. Hello from Brazil. Strungwig. Hello from India. Wow, I don't have a clock on what time it is in India. It's probably evening. That was Aditya. Aditya from India. Marge V, good morning from Illinois. Nobadog, good morning. Lorenzo, ciao. Aditya, yes, okay. And we can hear me, good. Thank you for that. And you can see me okay? Well, whatever. It is what it is. You put whatever filters on and it filters out the wrinkles, right? This is reality TV. Loud and clear. Good. I've got the mic right up to my mouth this time. Brisbane, it's 4 a.m. Well, good for you, Ray. Boy, you get some kind of a special thumbs up. Is that going to work? Yes, a special thumbs up for Ray. I've discovered these features last time. I thought I was having a stroke last time. 4 a.m. Ray, wow. First time caller, long time watcher, C. Adcock. Well, thank you. Welcome. R. Lawrence Chavez said something restricted. Don't say things like that. Bernice Ramirez, I became a fountain pen addict since I began watching your channel. It's not my fault. Not my fault. Giuliano Stella, hi Doug, greetings from Italy. Oscar, there's Oscar Medina. I have to tell you about Oscar. He's one of my favorite fans because he sent me things. He's been on my channel for a long, long time. And a while back, this is a cool story. A while back, he said, you keep opening your packages with scissors and stuff like that. I'm going to send you something that you need to open your packages with. And he sent me this Kershaw blade. And it's beautiful, and I use it all the time. The problem is when you're sending a knife through the mails, especially from the United States to Canada, they don't tend to allow that. So he took it to pieces and sent me numbers of packages and all the pieces. And I assembled it here. So thank you, Oscar. I use it every day. Namaste from India. Kalyan A. Mahanti. There's Miss Darling, Marilyn Darling. Good morning, Marilyn. Good to see you. I've been doing great, thank you. There's T. Bayless from Texas. George Papadopoulos. Hey, George, good to see you again. Yeah, all around the world today. That's great. There's Copperplate from Germany. Oscar's going to send me another. We're going to get in trouble. We're going to be considered arms dealers or something like that. But I gotta mention that last week I put up a video that was a celebration of my 5 years on YouTube. I couldn't believe it. YouTube says it was 4 years, but I did the math from 2019 right through to 2004. That's 5 years. So it's been 5 years and 15,000 subscribers. And I did a little bit of a celebration, like that, with balloons and stuff like that. Is that going to work? Yes. Yay. And I'm doing a giveaway. And today is on the live stream. I thought, well, this was a good idea. Let's do the giveaway selection of the 2 winners of the 2 pens that I'm giving away live on the air. That'll be fun. So I've got an agenda of sorts here. And I'm going to switch over to my desk here so you can see my agenda. So I'm going to move my mic too so you can still hear me. So here we go. So these are my stream topics today. We're going to select a winner, number 1, and then I'm going to announce, and this is an announcement today. Tomorrow, I should probably go back to full phase here. Here we go. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to release a video that is a winter blowout pen sale. I am selling 20 pens, and yes, that includes some vintage pens as well. And tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I'll put that video up, and you'll be able to start buying if you are interested in buying. So it's quite a range of pens from $25 all the way up to $225. And no, the $225 pen is not a vintage one, but I'm selling 3 very special vintage pens. And I'm also going to be making live my Wix page, which has a blog post on it, which has all 20 pens and an outline of each one. And the description will have a link to the video reviews for each one of those pens that I'm selling. So it's the winter blowout sale from Inkquiring Minds. So be there, be square. And again, it's first come, first serve. I can ship to anywhere in the world that Canada Post will ship to with insurance and tracking. And I only accept PayPal. It's all I can do. I've tried a number of platforms over the last couple of years to sell things. Facebook didn't work. I tried Etsy. That didn't work. So this is the only way I can do it. I'll do it through a web page and my PayPal. You email me, and the first person to put their money on the PayPal will get the pen. So look for that video tomorrow. Let's go back to our agenda here for a second. And where are you? Desk, there we are. So, move the mic. And the next thing on the agenda, upcoming reviews. So we'll talk about some of the things you're going to see in the next few weeks. I've got some of them here and some of them are in the mail. And then I thought it'd be interesting to talk about pronunciations, because I've been raked over the coals a little bit about my video I did the other day on Wednesday called Ebony versus Ebonite. And it was about what I'm calling a wanker pen. A lot of people says, no, it's not wanker. It's it's like rancher. It's wancher or wancher. But I've said that in my pen group a few times, and they've admonished me that no, it's pronounced wanker. So I did the whole video saying wanker, 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 which I knew amused all the people in the UK and other places around the world. So we're going to talk about some pronunciations because there's a number of words in our pen world that we either get wrong all the time or are offensive in different cultures. And then we're going to talk about what is your favorite ink in each color, if we have time. I'm thinking of doing a video about that too, my favorite inks in each one of the colors. Move the mic, and we come back. There we go. So that's our agenda for today. I'm going to try to keep track of the time so we don't go too far. Miss Marilyn Darling says, congratulations. Thank you very much. Who knew? I had no idea when I started one of the trick questions. It wasn't a trick question. I asked a skill testing question to enter the draw. What was my first review? It was a Jinhao X750 that I gifted my daughter. And my favorite pen in my collection is my Pelikan M800. Lucky Duck wanted to know what brand the blade was. It's a Kershaw. It's a Kershaw Leak. It's a very, very nice blade. Giuliano says, nice guitars for a guitarist. Yeah, well, I've got a really nice collection of guitars. And my collection of guitars expanded, and then I started trading 2 for 1. 2 mediocre guitars for a really good guitar, and the number of guitars shrunk, but the quality went up. Shalom from Israel. Shay Rabstein. Hello, Israel. Miss Marilyn Darling has been on YouTube for 20 years now. Well, now you're dating yourself, aren't you? Yeah. If I would have been a really tiny person 20 years... No, never mind. I'm not going to pass that test. Wild Wolf from Ireland. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. My video is stammering. Sorry about that. I don't know what I can do about it. It's my stream. Hello, Doug, and then it's all Greek to me. Yeah. We've seen you before, but I've never been able to pronounce. Give us a phonetic, not a frenetic. Give us a phonetics pronunciation of your name. Since today's topic is pronunciations, I can't speak that Greek. Video has stopping issues. I don't know whether there's anything I can do about that. Sound is fine. Make a review for Santini pens. Well, send me a Santini and I'll do it. One of the reasons I'm doing the sale is because I overspent on a couple of pens. My old Pelikan M600 and my Leonardo Supernova. And it kind of drained the bank account, and my accountant says you need to either sell things or you need to get a part-time job. So I thought, well, I'll sell things before I go work at McDonald's. Yeah, Miss Marilyn Darling loves ink. We know that. So I thought you'd enjoy that topic. Yes, Edward, I caught you live this week. Well, I discovered that I went through my archive of live streams, and there should have been 3, and there were only 2 that were public. The first one I did in November was private for some reason. Maybe I was ashamed of it or something. So I just clicked on it, made it public, and of course gave everybody a notification. Some people say, well, I'm trying to join the stream, but it's not there. Well, you'd have to get in a time machine to join that stream because it was 4 months ago. Now you are dating yourself, Miss Marilyn. Good day, Jay. Jay is from Toronto. No, I don't hold that against you, but I grew up in that area. I was born in Brantford, Ontario, and I grew up in the St. Catharines, Niagara Falls area. And I lived in Toronto for a while as well. And I was a Toronto Maple Leafs fan from the womb until I moved out here to Calgary in 1989. And now Leaf fans are insufferable. Sorry, Jay. Glenn C. says hello from Illinois. Hello, Glenn. Cheers from Europe. Pavel Zwolski. Hello, Pavel. Yeah, I'm going to get to the Edward. I'm going to get to my Hongdian N24 in a moment when we get to upcoming reviews. How do you decide what inks you'll use in your pens? Generally, I go matchy-matchy, unless the pen is a color that I don't like the ink of. So if I get a green pen, it's going to get a turquoise ink because I hate green. Sorry about your video. Stream stops. Refresh the page. It will come back immediately. Thanks, Marilyn. So if the stream stops, just refresh your page and it comes back. It's nice to have tech support. Just for those that are having a problem, yes. So, Teresa, yours cracked too, huh? Well, I know that Chris Ripsaek's cap cracked. I'm looking at mine. There's nothing wrong with mine so far. I had a Moonman M1000 that had a cracked cap like that as well. Are Leafs fans worse than Flyers fans? Nobody's worse than Flyers fans. Come on. At least they're Canadians. T. Bayless wants to know, can you say what's going on with Pen BBS? Have you talked to your friend? When will they be releasing new pens? Well, they just released a new pen, and it's in the mail to me right now. It's their 2023 Year of the Rabbit Pen BBS pen, and I've got one coming. They released two new models last year, a touchdown filler and a piston filler. So I'm expecting that things will come along. He's been continuing to do these special 14 karat gold in highly engraved nibs for pens. And so they're always all over the place, but they're always they're way too expensive for ordinary mortals to collect. But I know Daniel from our Taste the Rainbow Facebook page. It's a Pen BBS fan page on Facebook. He has almost every nib known to Pen BBS. Die-hard Leaf fan here, won't hold that against you. Yeah, well, okay. Go Flames, go. You see that we just lost Lindholm to Vancouver. Who's going to stop Vancouver now? So this is not a hockey channel. We're not going to talk hockey. Whoa. Let's have some tea. YouTube on my TV is doing commercials. Well, I turned all of the ads off for any, because YouTube says, you know, boost your viewership, add ads and all this kind of stuff. I turned all those features off. If they still give you ads, that's YouTube, not me. Laertica, hello, Doug. Congratulations from Vancouver Island. Well, thank you so much, and you're welcome for the trade of Elias Lindholm. He's a terrific player. You'll love him as a Canuck. Getting commercials on your laptop, well, yeah, that's going to happen. Maybe refreshing the page will get rid of the commercial. I don't know. Will Pen BBS release anything in Amber as a Cat soon again? Hank Crankington wants to know. I would expect so. When they come out with new models, they generally come out with the three very highly sought-after finishes. That's Amber as a Cat, Galaxy, and Niangao. Just to let you know, in my pen sale tomorrow morning, I have an Amber as a Cat pen BBS for sale. I have a Galaxy pen BBS for sale, and I have 3 Niangao pen BBS for sale. So if you're a fan of those finishes, check out my video tomorrow. Are you planning to check out vintage Pelicans? Well, the most vintage I got was the one I got at the antique store just after Christmas. And it was my entire pen buying budget for 2 months. So I don't know that I'm going to be getting another vintage Pelican. I did a review of a vintage one that belonged to my friend Ron's dad. And it was from the 80s, the early 80s. And I did a repair and a nib replacement on that. But that was several years ago. And here their flex nibs are just out of this world, possibly. The pronunciation of our Greek friend's name is Ieyasu Georgio. Ieyasu. Ieyasu. I'll just say Ieyasu, okay? How's that? I'll try to remember that. Ieyasu. Are there any fountain pens shaped as a hockey stick? Oh, I hope not. I really sincerely hope not. Hey, Doug, this is Sancho. Hey, Sancho. Where's Don Quixote? There's William. William Catalano. I have an ad blocker, so I never get ads anymore. Good man. And hello, Doug. Mr. Rorschach 87 says, hi, Doug. Did you try Jinhao number 8 EF unit? I've got several of them. All of them are wet as fire hose. No, EF isn't my favorite. I've got 3 fine nibs. Well, actually 2 because I had one double stacked. And I've got 3 medium nibs. I've got a one of the pens that we're going to see upcoming, a Jinhao 9016, coming soon. Nomad Hog says, I got my wife a 355 in Galaxy, and I want one in Amber as a Cat. Yeah, that's a nice pen. I don't use it as much as my 456s. I've got 6 456s, but the 355 is nice. I've got one in Galaxy as well. I got here late. Leersha says, I got here late and someone might have asked you already, is there a source for Pen BBS mini Fude nibs? Yes, it's Pen BBS, the Etsy shop, which is called the official Pen BBS store on Etsy. And you have to just watch out for their little fobs. I think I've got one. They look like this. And they sell them for, I think the steel nibs are about $20 US, something like that. They might have gone up. But you look for the fine nib. The fine nib is that mini Fude. So we're going to move to number 3 on my list of things to talk about, and that is upcoming reviews. So keep your questions coming, and I'll scroll back in a minute, but let's switch over here to camera 2. Sorry, I had to do that. And let's look at some upcoming fountain pen reviews. Move the mic, Doug, move the mic. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to do the giveaway, didn't I? I got to follow my agenda more carefully. Let's do this. So we're going to give away in alphabetical order pens to people who commented on my video from last Saturday. And the first one I'm giving away is this Asvine, and we're going to talk about Asvine in our pronunciation section topic. This is a V126 vacuum filler. I love this pen. I gave one away. I gave the one I bought away as part of a giveaway last year, and then I bought 2 more. This is the one I use all the time. It's always full of ink. Really, really nice pen. So I'm going to give this one away, and then I'm going to give away this one, which is the Hongdian N11 piston filler skeleton, and it's in this beautiful blue and has a lovely nib, and it's got ink on my fingers already. So let's do this giveaway, see how I can do it. I've never done this before, so bear with me. And I'm going to switch over here to my computer desk, and I have it all racked up, ready to go. And let's go over to computer here. There we go. So here is my random YouTube selection. Random, it shows random comment picker. And so it's got the link to the video, and we're only getting 1 comment per person. I've got to solve this. Can anybody help me with 6 plus 6? Let's see. Let's go with 12. We got 324 entries. And for the Asvine V126 vacuum filler, the pen will go to Mike Davis 979. And his comment is, well, this is appropriate. We love you, Doug. I speak for all viewers, at least those who have watched more than 3 of your videos. Ha ha ha. I'm a subscriber. Hooray for something or other. Hooray for Hollywood. And let's take a screenshot of that so I can post it. Bear with me. We're dealing with technology. Bear with, bear with, bear with, bear with. There we go. So, congratulations, Mike Davis, 979. Please contact me within 24 hours on inkquiringminds@gmail.com with your name and your address so I can ship out your pen to you. Now, we're going to do this again. Eight plus 2. I'm going to guess 10. So we have the same 324 comments. And let's go and find out who's going to win the Hongdian N11. Robert, NYC 4489. Congratulations, Robert. Congratulations on 15,000 subs and 5 years. Looking forward to the next 5 years. So am I. Question. Yeah, and he's answered the skill testing question. You know, if someone hadn't answered the question, I would have probably allowed them to win anyway. But there you go. Let's take a screenshot of that one. There we go. And we got it. And we're back. Let's scroll back and see what we've missed. Were any of those people here? So I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Oh, Yesu means hello. Okay, thanks, George. His name is Angelos. Angelos. Okay, so I won't call him hello in Greek. Yesu. No. So I got to go Yesu Angelos. Angelos? Okay, well, that's the best I can do this morning. I need more caffeine. Giuliano Stella says, I recently discovered this channel, and I can say it's one of the best channels on fountain pens. Well done, Doug. Thank you so much, Giuliano. Appreciate that. The check is in the mail. Greg Reeder asks, what's your best source for vintage nibs? Recently got an early Waterman's Skywriter, missing the nib. Pen Tooling has a steel one, but from what I can tell, this originally was 14K. Well, eBay is the main source, I think, for getting any vintage parts. Oh, Scott was gifted a membership by Strungwig. Well, thank you, Strungwig, and congratulations, Scott. I had a video from YouTube saying that I can give away memberships randomly, and they say there was a button here to do that, and I can't find it, so I have to keep searching for how I can give away. They say you can do it during live streams, but I don't see any buttons. Diego says he loves his V126, amazing pen. Edward wants to know, have you had a look at the Hongdian 600 Ebonite with an 18 karat gold nib? Shaw MD did a review and he could not praise it high enough. No, I've not seen that. I do watch Shaw MD. He has wonderful handwriting and wonderful taste in pens. Oh, did I say N11? I can't. There are so many new Hongdian models. There's the N10, N11, N12. There's the A6. There's, so there's all over the place. This is a Hongdian A6 skeleton. Forgive me, folks. That's the pen that was given away, the A6, not the N11. If you're interested in the N11, though, I believe it might be on the block tomorrow morning. George says, bear with. Yes, you watch Miranda. I'm glad you got that reference. Bear with. Just a moment. I'm more important than anybody in the universe. Congrats to the winners. Find Pierre Gustafson if you might. Yes. Good suggestion, Marilyn Darling. Find Pierre Gustafson. He has a YouTube channel, and get the spelling of Pierre's name from Miss Marilyn's comment there, and search YouTube, and you can contact him. He has a lot of experience. He's a Richard Binder type guy. Wingsung 600 Ebonite. Okay, yes, I have seen the Wingsung 600. They're difficult to get. I've only seen them available through Taobao or FP Focus. I've never seen them on eBay or anything like that. Diego's birthday tomorrow. I gave myself a Wingsung 630 as a gift. The version with the flat top and the steel nib. Good for you. It's a nice pen. Mr. Rorschach, 87, congrats to the lucky winners. Wish me luck. I'm going to try to grind a Kaigaloo nib. I messed up a couple of days ago. That's in my Jinhao X750. Greetings from Serbia. Keep it up, Doug. Thank you very much. Yeah, the Jinhao X750 is a great one to experiment on, because if you destroy it, just get another one. Giuliano says, Chinese fountain pen production is getting better and better in quality, and I hope this message will get through to the historical pen manufacturers. I bought the new Parker 51 and was disappointed. Did you get the steel nib or the gold one? The gold one is hugely overpriced. Well, so is the steel one. And Parker just doesn't even know how to do Parker. look at Wing Sung if you want to get a clone that is beautiful and modern. Wing Sung 601. What's your thoughts on the Hongdian A24? Looks to have the dragon on the cap versus the barrel. I've not seen that one yet, Hank. But that's a good segue into, it's 11:36 now for me. Let's move over to our camera 2, and we will go and look at what's coming up in pen reviews. So here we go. Let's center that. So first up, you guys have been talking about this already. This is the Hongdian N24, Year of the Dragon. And there's already been issues. Chris Rapsaic of Chris Rap of Pentalk, couldn't remember the name of his YouTube channel, already has a cracked cap. Other people have as well. But that's kind of to be expected. It depends on your environment. It's very, very dry here. I'm in a humidified room right now because it's so dry in the foothills of the Rockies here in Alberta. And all of my acoustic guitars are solid wood. And so they need constant humidification. Any wood like this that is possibly unfinished or lightly finished. This looks like it has some kind of a polyester lacquer on it, but it will be affected by temperature changes, and especially if you get it mailed in the wintertime and it goes from a cold mailbox into a warm environment, it will split. So if you do have delivery from a warm climate to a cold, or if you're in a cold climate, let the package warm up to room temperature before you open it up any further, just to prevent that cap from splitting. You can see it has a frosted kind of hardware on it, and this huge dragon that actually lines up if you do it correctly. It's got a 3 start. There we go. So that lines up, and that dragon looks like, well, that's going to be uncomfortable. But they put these flat spots here where your fingers go. So like the Jinhao dragon, you know, they look like they're big and unwieldy, but actually that's not too bad. I was surprised. It's not smooth, but it's not unwieldy. Certainly it doesn't post very well. But I haven't even inked this pen yet. So I'm going to be reviewing that very soon, probably next week. So that's the Year of the Dragon, N24. And then we have, what's next on my list? The Hongdian, this is Mahjong. The Mahjong N8. I got this a few weeks ago, and I haven't inked it yet. What's interesting about this pen is it's convertible. It's one of those lipstick kind of pens that you screw to post and it becomes a full-size fountain pen. Has a roll stop on it. This one's in this lovely cracked ice burgundy color. But you can take the pen apart, take the little push-pull converter out, and pull the nib out and put this in, and it becomes a glass dip. So those of you that like using glass dip pens, I like doing glass dips for I use my glass dip pen as a pointer in my videos, but I also use it for doing ink samples. It works really nicely for that. So that's the Moonman or Mahjong N8. What's next? Oh, yes. This is a Kuake And again, we'll have to talk about pronunciations in a moment. Kuaki, Kuraki, Kuaki, Kuake. Pick one. 2000. And when I saw this, I thought, oh, Moonman has changed their name again. And they've re-released the Moonman TI 500. Here is the Moonman TI 500. I included this in my worst pens of the year because they discontinued it and it's impossible to get apart and a whole bunch of things. But it's actually, now that I've changed it, I put a Parker nib in it. It's a really wonderful piston filler, and it's a beautiful titanium. And they don't make this anymore, so these are rare. So when this came out, I thought, oh my goodness, it's by another brand, but it's the same pen. It's not the same pen, folks. So again, I haven't inked this one yet either, but it is a piston filler. It's a lot heavier than the titanium one. So it's got to be aluminum. It feels like aluminum. Again, you can't disassemble it. It is a piston filler. And I've been able to adjust one of my piston wrenches to get in there to actually take this apart. But it's hugely inferior to the Moonman TI 500. So I'll be doing a comparison of those two pens. And also, you're going to be seeing this. This is a Duke. Confucius say Duke. So I don't know whether Duke is an homage to John Wayne, but that does not look like John Wayne to me. That looks more like Confucius say. And it's got Greek key all over it. It's got a very large clip, ornate, a fake wood body. I don't know what that material is, but it's not wood. And this one has a huge Fude nib with a double stack on it. You can see this applique on the top. Again, I haven't inked this one yet, but this was sent to me by a store named Langivi on Amazon. And they also sent me this 3-pen sleeve. And I thought, well, it's inexpensive, so it's going to be fake leather. It's not. It's genuine pigskin, and it is really lovely. This is my everyday carry 3-pen case now. It's suede on the inside. You can see, very luscious suede, and it contains 3 of my most precious pens. This is my 1946 Azure Blue Pearl Parker Vacuumatic, my M600, and my M800. Beautiful zipper case. So I'm going to be doing a review of that. And I've got a couple of pens in the mail. Let's move back over here to camera 1. Here we go. I've got a couple of pens in the mail. Let's see. I mentioned my Jinhao 9016. That's arriving soon, so I can't wait to review that. And I've got a pen from a company called Admock. I'm going to be reviewing one of these soon. This is an Admock 108. But the Admock pen company, whoever they are, have made a pen called the M800. And I think I have one of them here. Let's go to my computer. There it is. What does that look like to you folks? That's a Pelikan M800 if I've ever seen one. It's an exact copy from what I can see from the photos. So it'll be interesting to see what's on the top finial. But I got one of these coming in this galaxy color. And there are a number of colors they've got. Let's see this black one. Boy, doesn't that look like an M800 Pelikan to you? So I've got one of those coming. And I've got this coming as well. This is the P138 from Majon. And let's see the one. They come in a number of different styles. This one's the silver finish one. And it looks like a hexagon or an octagon or something like that pattern with this really cool clip with the 2 rivets on it. And this is the one I'm getting, the black one, because the silver one sold out. But that's the one that's coming. It's got this really nice filigree on it. And that's all the news that's fit to print. Let's go back to our comments and track back. See who I've missed. Lots of congratulations. BJ says, well, you could cut grass with that fude. I know it doesn't. It look like a scythe. I'm sort of, not looking forward to how awful my handwriting is going to be with that paintbrush. I'm not great with paintbrushes. Yeah, it is a great pen case. In the review I do of that Duke Confucius and the pen case, I'll put up the link to the Amazon place where you can buy it. But the store is called Langivi, and it's Lanxivi, I believe. But search Amazon for that, and you can find it. Hey, Chaz, good to see you. Any pens for sale? Well, tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., and you'll see 20 pens for sale. Looking forward to the M800 review. I've been waiting before I consider another purchase. That's from James Biscombe. Are you talking about the M800 AdMock, or are you talking about the M800 Pelican? Because there's about a $700 difference there. Where did my agenda go? Who took my agenda? Okay, well, now I don't know what to say next without my agenda. Oh, there it is. I need my prompting cards. Okay, so next on our list is pronunciations. Now, I brought this up because, as I mentioned earlier, I did a review of an ebony versus an ebonite pen, the Eureka dodecagon diamond ebonite pen, and compared it to a Wanker World Tree ebony pen. And in that review, I said Wanker over and over again. Partly for grinners because I thought it was funny, but that's my potty mouth humor. But also because I was corrected numerous times that it's not pronounced Wancher, as I had always pronounced it. It's called Wanker. So are we just living with denominational differences with our pronunciations? There are a number of other names that we're either mispronouncing or, well, I know I'm butchering a lot of pronunciations, but there might be a correct one. You don't know. One of them is diamine, diamine, diamini. What's your thought about diamine, diamine, diamini? I like Diamini. Sounds like a Beatles film, the Blue Meanies. But that could be fun. Yeah, let's do a Diamine Blue ink review and call it Diamini Blue Meanie. See how my mind works? This is awful, folks. It's awful. So I say diamine. I don't know. I sort of alternate back and forth. But someone actually contacted Diamine and asked them what the proper pronunciation is. And now I can't remember what they said. Marilyn Darling should know. English says that the E makes the I say its name. Yeah, like mine. It's mine, it's yours. Diamine. If it was diamine or diamine, it might be pronounced differently and have some funny accents on it and stuff like that. Diamine is mine. Yeah, I think that's what I say. Diamine. Another word that is done incorrectly, or I have been corrected on, let's put it that way. If you ever want to get corrected a lot, have a YouTube channel. You'll get corrected every day. You'll wake to tweets that say, you're wrong. So it's a lot of fun, I can tell you. Well, the other word that I was corrected on was these urushi pens that have the mother of pearl and abalone shell inlays. They're called Raden. I always called them Raden, R-A-D-E-N, but it's Rawdon, apparently. I always thought if it was Rawdon, wouldn't be spelt like Dennis Rodman, but no, it's Rawdon, R-A. So when I do my reviews, I tend to now type out the word phonetically. So when I'm reading it on my script, I pronounce it properly. So what do you say about Rawdon, Raden? Raden sounds better to me. Another one is, and this one's been fun since this brand came out a couple of years ago, Asvine. Now, I've practiced saying Asvine rather than Asvine and rather than Asvine, because I've been corrected numbers of times about my pronunciation of Asvine. Asvine is funnier. It's just funnier and more fun. So I refrain from saying Asvine, but whenever I see it, I see Asvine. And it's an unfortunate name, but Chinese companies tend to make their pens, or whatever their products are, come with some really strange sounding names because the Western ear hears it, the Eastern ear does not hear it. That's why I think they should hire me to be their check, spell check, pronunciation check. And they come out with a new name, they run it by me, and I say, not so much. You shouldn't probably say that. And another one is, I got to tell a little story about this one. I love this ink company. It's French. You probably know what it is. Marilyn does. And I went to a new pen ink supplier in town, a really nice little store. It's an art supply store. And I asked, they have a little tiny fountain pen and ink section in their art supply store. And I went and asked a shop person, do you have J. Urbain ink? And he went, oh, no. He looked up this, looked up that, and I'd never heard of J. Urbain. And so I strolled around the ink, and I found J. Urbain all over the place. And I said, well, here you go. Here's the J. Oh, Jack Herbin. Oh, yeah, we have all kinds of Jack Herbin. And now of course, I have to tell another story. You know, I was a professor, university professor for many years. And so I've had the experience of learning the names of many, many students, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students over 30 years. When I was a tiny little professor, way back in the early days, I had a classroom full of students, and I was teaching in the French community of a small town in Ontario called Welland. And so there are a lot of French names that you see. And so I'm going down the list of attendants, and so I see this name, Lucien Dufour. So I said, Lucien Dufour, Lucien Dufour. Do I have a Lucien Dufour anywhere? And the guy goes, oh, that's me. Sorry, I didn't recognize it. It's Lucien Dufour. My name is Lucien Dufour. And I kind of chuckled to myself. Lucian Dufer, eh? He goes, yeah, no, my dad's French. I hate those French people. Okay. Lucian Dufer it is. Yeah, and his goal in life, I asked them all, what were their greatest goals for their careers in life? What do you want to do with your life? And why are you here in a theater school? And this kid stood up and said, I want to be the head janitor at my high school. And I said, well, don't shoot too high there, George. Why do you want to be the head janitor at your high school? And he said, well, the head janitor gets to run the lights. So, keep your dreams high, folks, and be just like George. There's another word that's difficult to pronounce, Carandash. It's not difficult for me, but some people. Carandach. It's always interesting to hear odd pronunciations of things. Jack Herbin, yeah. So are there any more words out there that you have difficulty pronouncing, or that I have difficulty pronouncing and you want to correct me on? That Greek name is not included. BJ says, is that a hummingbird on your wall? It is indeed. It is a hummingbird custom 12-string, limited edition, amber sunburst. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. And I got it for a song because, well, not that cheap, but I mean, I got it for way less than what it's worth because it didn't intonate at all. And so I took it to the best guitar luthier in town, and he examined it from top to stem to stern, and discovered that the nut was placed incorrectly. And he fixed it, and it's perfect. Oscar says, as an educator, I pronounce the names the way they should be pronounced in their original language, if I know how, regardless of how the person wants it pronounced. Yeah, you don't get very good teacher evaluations when you don't pronounce the student's name correctly. I used to just point, you, over here, pick this up, move it over there. Christopher LP says, my wife is from Louisiana, and you should hear the way they pronounce some French words down there. I bet. It's the Cajun, isn't it? Isn't that Cajun down there? And that accent is very interesting indeed. Maths Wizard Official says, hi, sir, what is your view about the M1000? If you're talking about the Moonman M1000, I don't like it. If you're talking about the Pelican M1000, it's a kind of a grail pen for me. I've borrowed one from my pen man Murray, and it was beautiful. It was a Streisman, and with that gray black stripe, beautiful pen, big nib, very flexible, very juicy. I don't know that I'd be able to actually write with one once I got it in my hands. So I'm not sure that I want to put out $1,000 for one. Yeah, I knew you were talking about the Pelican M1000. I was just teasing you. But yeah, it's probably out of any kind of ordinary reach for me to be able to purchase one of those. So I think the M800 fits perfectly in my hand. I was scared of the M600, but once I have one in my hand and posted, it is very, very nice. So my range is going to be M600, M800, I think, if I ever get another Pelican. So TJ says the Karen. This is the Waterman Karen. This is my amber Karen. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen. It never quite makes my top 5 list, but I use it all the time. And so, it should actually be on the top 5 list. I've got 2 of them. I've got one in black and gold. This one I got when talking about getting it for a song, I got this one on Amazon. It was one of those things where it went down to ridiculous price, and then once they sold out, they went up to a huge price, and I got it just under the wire. for a couple $100 from regular price. And the Waterman Karen is a beautiful pen. And of course, I pronounce it Karen. It has that accent grave over the E. Did I say that right? Accent grave. And so I think that's the proper pronunciation of Karen. Says the guy with the hummingbird. Thank you, BJ. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I'd had a larger collection. I'd been collecting guitars and guitars and guitars, and I started selling 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. The collection went down and down and down to smaller numbers, but much higher quality. So it took me 30 years of collecting to get that guitar. Wild Wolf says we. My wife was a playwright, and she did a play for the university. Well, she actually directed someone else's play for the university, and she had an actor who just could not say we, and he just kept saying wah, wah, and no matter how much they tried, they could not get him to say we. Strungwig gave me $5. Sorry, Doug, I have to go. Bye-bye. And you can leave more often if you give me $5 every time you go, but it's really nice to see you. Thank you very much for your generous donation. Let's celebrate. How do I do this? Yay. Thank you. Ms. Marilyn says, the French Waterman are way different than the American pronunciation of Waterman Karen. I bet they are. Karen? Yeah, the Pelican M1000, the gray and black stripe is a Streisman. Streisman. Stresemann. Okay, I'll try that. Stresemann. It's all German to me. Christopher LP says, my local mom and pop store is getting a couple of the Lurkst guitars made by Godin. Awfully priced for Godin guitars. You mean high priced? A lot of the Godin-built guitars of all the different brands that Godin has, he's from Quebec, Montreal, I believe, and I have a Godin multi-act nylon string, but he makes Seagull and Simon & Patrick and Art & Luthier, and there's a whole bunch of brands in there that Godin has, and some of those brands are nice. The solid wood top ones are very nice. The Godin brands are very nice. I've never heard of a Lurkst guitar. Must be a new brand from him. What is your view about the Leonardo MZG 2.0 in a 14K number 8 nib? I would say that's pricey. I have an MZG 2.0 Stardust with a steel nib. I have an MZG with in ebonite rosewood with a number 6 size 14 karat nib, and a MZG in Jonathan Brooks Earth Magic 2, a limited edition with a 14 karat gold nib. They're all beautiful. I don't know that I'd be able to afford or even need an 14 karat gold number 8 size nib on an MZG2. I do like the MZG2 though. Beautiful pen. Lurkst is Alex Lifeson's nickname. Guess the Rush connection is worth more. Yeah, anytime you put a famous name on something, the price should go up. Is it a good idea? Vicus Demon says, is it a good idea to buy different fountain pens from a same brand or buy one pen from every brand? Well, that depends on what kind of a collector you are. There are collectors called completionists, and they have to collect all of a particular series. It's like when you're collecting comic books. A friend of mine is a comic book collector, and he has to have the entire series, and then he moves on to another series and has to complete that. That to me is a form of mental illness, and I pray for him, but he knows I do. But I think being a completionist is a bit obsessive, compulsive. I like getting what suits me in every kind of brand. Some brands I don't collect. I don't even try. Quebeco, for example. Fountain Pen Revolution, for example. Math Wizard Official says, "Hi, sir. Please say, please say what?" Russell Bickford says, "I worked with a little French-Canadian guy and woman came into the store one day. She started talking, and he had no idea what she was saying. She was speaking French, and he spoke Canadian French." Yeah, the French-Canadian accent is very strong, and even if you speak French, I know that people from France have difficulty understanding. It's like listening to French from someone from Louisiana. That Cajun thick accent. The Canadian Cajun, they trace their roots back to Acadia in Canada when the British expelled the Acadians from Acadia, and some of them settled in Louisiana area and created the Cajun culture. I know these things. So we're coming up on 1 full hour, folks. So I'm going to quickly go through what I'm going to probably make into a video. So I'm asking the question, what is your favorite ink per color? So I have a number of colors that are my favorite colors, and I'm going to wax professorial here for a moment as well. Here's a sub-question for you. In the visible light spectrum, there are a number of colors, and we remember those colors by remembering the acronym ROY-BE-GIVE, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, ROY-B, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, ROY-BE-GIVE, ROY-BE-GIVE, ROY-G-BIV, that's it, ROY-G-BIV, sorry. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But there's a color that a lot of people like that's missing from that spectrum. Here's the trick question. What is the color that a lot of people like that's missing from the visible light spectrum, the electromagnetic range visible to human eye? Does anybody know what that is? Vibgyor, I like the Vibgyor. Trips right off the tongue. No, violet is one of the V's. It's not violet, it's not black. Black is the absence of light. White is all of the light rays, visible light rays mixed together in your eye make white. Sunlight. And Christian, yay! How do you do this? Yay! Christian has the right answer. It's purple. And why? Here's your another sub-question. Why is purple not in the visible spectrum? If it's not there, where is it? It is visible. It's not in, in the visible light spectrum. So that's from 460 nanometers to 780 nanometers, the visible range that human beings can see electromagnetic radiation. It goes from violet to red. So why is, magenta is correct as well. Thank you, Heather Rathman. You should be working, young lady. Aren't you at work right now? Yeah, she is at work. Yeah, it's mauve. It's purple. No one has the end. Yes, you're working. Yes, she has her earbuds in and she's watching me on YouTube. Violet isn't purple. Violet is almost ultraviolet. So it's just below, almost to below the wavelength that the human eye can see. So that's very short waves. But there's no red content in it. So if there's red content in it, again, look at the spectrum from violet, I don't know which right from left, from violet to red. There's no purple in there, but if you mix violet and red or blue and red together, in the eye, we see it as purple. So it's actually a combination of a very short wavelength and a very long wavelength in visible light gives you purple. That's why it's not in the visible light spectrum. You have to see it mixed. That's why you see it mixed in sunsets, and that's why you see it mixed in pigments. So you see purple. There's some purple because light waves bounce off of that and reflect into your eye various wavelengths, combinations of things. And purple is a combination of red and blue. Yeah, but if you mix orange and blue, you get green, but green is part of the visible spectrum. Yeah, split wavelengths. And that's a little bit of trivia for you today. So, what are Doug's favorite colors of ink, favorite inks in each one of these colors? And again, I've left out some colors because there's some colors in that spectrum or outside of the spectrum that I don't like. I don't like orange. I don't like, in ink, I'm talking about in ink. I don't like orange. I don't like green. And I don't like, well, I like it okay, depending on the kind of purple. If it's way purple, I don't like it so much. If it's in the magenta range, I like it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ink color categories that I really like. And that's blue, turquoise, red brown, red burgundy, green emerald, yellow gold, and a purple. So I've got a favorite ink or two in each one of these colors. My favorite color is blue. I'm like, what's his name? Brian Goulet that way. My favorite color is blue, and my favorite ink is Konpeki, just like Brian. But I also have a second favorite ink, and it's from Jack Herbin. It's called Kyanite du Nepal. And I think I'm pronouncing that right, Nepal, because there's an accent grave over the E. But that's a beautiful turquoisey kind of shimmering ink that I just love. And it's the ink that's in the beginning scrawl of Inkquiring Minds. My favorite turquoise ink is Leonardo turquoise, and a close second is Lamy turquoise. My favorite red-brown ink is Ancient Copper. My favorite red burgundy ink is Oxblood by Diamine, or Iroshizuku Yamabudo is a close second. My favorite green emerald, it has to be emerald side, it has to have some blue in it for me to like that green, and that's Emerald de Chivor from Jack Herbin. And then in yellow gold, it's the Pelikan Golden Barrel, which is a lovely ink. I just love that ink. Very for special effects. And I only have a couple of purple inks, and the one I like the best is Diamine Bilberry. So those are my favorite inks in those categories. What are yours? Or do you like some of those colors? I think I will do. I don't do ink videos. I know that Marilyn does a lot of ink videos and ink reviews and things like that. I find it too time consuming and too messy, and I tend to stick on certain inks a lot, and I'm not very adventurous when it comes to inks, put it that way. Marilyn Darlin says, Miss Marilyn Darling, Ink Master. George Parapadak. I'm going to try to pronounce your name now. George Parapadakis. Is that right? Parapadakis? Golden Barrel is rarer than hen's teeth. Can't get any in the UK. I got a bottle right there. It's really cool, really close, really easy to get to. Lester loves Konpeki. I think what I love about Konpeki the most is the fact that it shades, it goes from a sort of a rich, rich dark blue to this turquoisey kind of azure. And then it has some red sheen to it as well if you use the right paper. It just is so vibrant a color. Diamine Jack Frost, yeah, that I like Jack Frost as well. It's got a lot of shimmer to it. It's got that same kind of Konpeki vibe to it. That was Pat Driscoll that said that. And but it tends to be rather sticky, and I find it difficult to clean out of a pen. And you don't want to leave it long in a pen either. It just turns to kind of a sticky paste, for me anyway. I've always considered oxblood a red-brown. Yeah, but it's gone into that burgundy kind of look. Merlot is another one from Diamine that's very nice. Diamine, sorry. Toffee Brown by Mont Blanc. Yeah, Lori B says Toffee Brown by Mont. I've got a bottle of that, and I've tried it. And it's just kind of flat for me. It's just brown. And light brown, dark brown. But I guess I like it when it has a reddish sheen to it. There's another ink I've just picked up recently, and this is Graphon Faber-Castell Hazelnut Brown. This is a really nice ink. I've got it in my Visconti Mythos, and it's a perfect match for that pen. And it's a really nice, vibrant brown. But when it comes to an amber Karen, this has to have ancient copper in it. Just has to. Wild Wolf says, I like Cellular Magno Ume for Burgundy. I'll have to look that up. Math Wizard Official says, please share your view about Leonardo MZG 2.0 in number 8 nib. I think I did already. I like the MZG2. I've got a feeling that the number 8 would look a little bit big on it, but of course an 8 looks big on most pens. And it's a 14 karat gold nib, so I can't imagine the list price on that pen. So it would certainly be out of the ballpark for me. Again, sharing my view of a pen that I've never held or even seen is difficult. I just have to take a look at the picture and figure out whether it's worth the price. BJ says Konpeki is the good dog of inks. Yeah, I think that, and Asagao as well. I should have mentioned Asagao as one of my other favorite blues. So Roshizuku inks in general, but those two blues, Asagao and Konpeki, are sort of standards for me. Whenever I'm having difficulty with any pen at all, there's two inks I go to make sure to rule out ink as the problem here. So you're having problems with your pen and ink and pen combination nib. I will substitute whatever ink I was trying for Konpeki or Waterman Serenity Blue. And if the issue goes away, I know it's the ink. If the issue doesn't go away, then I know it's not the ink, because Konpeki and Waterman Serenity Blue are so well behaved. Reading a lot of suggestions about inks. Marilyn says, I like inks that shimmer, sheen, or shade a lot. I can't stand the smelly inks. They drive me crazy. Well, that's what did it. And usually bleed right through the page. Yes. There's only one smelly ink. I wouldn't call it smelly. It has a nice odor to it, and that is KWZ Azure Blue number 5, 6, something like that. The KWZ inks smell like vanilla, and it's really nice. But they get gummy as well. So I used to use those inks. I don't use them so much anymore. Wild Wolf loves hazelnut brown. It's a nice ink. If you had to pick between Shogun or Stormy Gray, which would you pick? That's a great question, BJ, because Stormy Gray was my favorite gray because it has that beautiful gold fleck to it for a long, long time. My pen friend Janice gave me her bottle, and it's almost gone, and it's hard to get. But then I picked up this Shogun, and the Shogun is awesome, and I have it in a number of my black pens. And I think now it's my black. Oh, I didn't put black in there as my favorite. I should have put black in. I got to remember to put that down. My favorite black is Takasume from Iroshizuku. Very well behaved ink. And my favorite black with a shimmer to it is Shogun. No question. I reach for that for my black pens a lot. Monteverdi Brown Sugar is current favorite. Everyday Ink, a great song, Brown Sugar. Yeah, if you like the Stones, and who doesn't like the Stones? My two favorites for daily use are Diamine Oxblood and Eau de Nil. That's another one of those French names, right? Eau de Nil. Is that a Jack Herbin ink? Eau de Nil? Do you have a recommendation for an olive ink? Lori B asks. And I can't recommend an olive ink because I don't like olive. But there was the Pelican ink that matched their Olivine pen a number of years ago. That I think it's called Olivine. That looks very nice. Rick Fraser says, is the ink a problem? Ink is Parker Quink. Yeah, again, one of those less saturated inks. Parker Quink and Waterman Serenity have very low pigment load, so it's not really pigment, but it's they're low in saturation. And I read an article about whether an ink is dangerous to latex pens, latex celluloid, latex sac pens or not. And everybody always says Waterman Serenity because of its neutral pH. Well, it actually isn't neutral pH. That is in the range of neutrality. But it's not the pH so much, I read. It is the amount of load that there is, the amount of saturation. A highly saturated ink tends to destroy latex sac pens more than the acidity or alkalinity of the ink. But certainly acidity or alkalinity, God, I can't pronounce things today, have a great deal of effect on metal parts like nibs, steel nibs and things like that, and gold not so much. Ray Buck, any suggestions for using shimmer inks and pens? Yes, clean them regularly. Get an electrosonic bath for like a jewelry cleaner and fill it with distilled water and like 9 parts of distilled water and 1 part of ammonia, and put your nib in that once a month at least, maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on how shimmery that ink is and how much you're using it. If you let the pen sit with shimmering ink in it, it's going to clog up. And so when you refill the pen is a good time to just drop that nib the section, nib, whatever, in the electrosonic bath and let it sit for a few minutes, rinse it out, dry it out, and then re-ink the pen if you're using shimmering ink. If you can't get the fleck and the shimmer particulate out of the feed, you pull the nib and the feed out of the nib collar and take the feed. If it's ebonite, be very careful with it because they're brittle. But take a soft toothbrush and brush it in distilled water and get all that fleck out. So it's okay to use shimmering inks. It's just you have to use due diligence and do maintenance. I have about 100 pens that need cleaning. Any volunteers? No. George Papadakis says, Diamine eau de Nil, water of the Nile. Yeah. It's a teal, bit brighter than Aurora Borealis. I'll have to look for that. Is that in their 1670 series, or is that in the little Gerbin bottles with that awful nib or a pen rest on it? Terrible bottles. Marilyn says, if you like olive shimmer, olive swirl from Diamine Inkvent. Russell Bickford says, Rick, you should buy a sample of JWZ Coffee Ink. It's a very interesting ink company, KWZ. I haven't had some KWZ in a while. I've got about 5 different inks from him. Marilyn says, Noodler's Conrad is excellent for shimmer inks with a fountain pen Revolution Ultra Flex. Nib makes an excellent flex nib. If you don't want to, the flex nib you can replace for a Jovo nib. Yeah, I can't recommend that. Maybe the nib, not the pen so much. Can you get just the FPR nibs and not have to deal with their awful pens? Of course, you'd have to buy them from them, wouldn't you? Get the fleck out. Thank you, Wendy. Ha. Enzo says, my go-to black is Lamy Black and Parker Quink. For blue, I like Waterman Blue Mystery. Mystery Blue, yeah. It's a blue black. I think that is the name. And I also tried Diamine. I got to practice that. Diamine Midnight. Red inks, Diamine, Oxblood. Rick Fraser lives in Australia. There is no ink supplier here that stocks a sample of smells like coffee, but it's a great suggestion. Thanks, George. Just the standard Diamine 30 or 80. Right. Good. Christopher LP says Platinum Carbon Black has been pretty well behaved to me. That's an indelible ink, right? That's a waterproof ink, the Platinum Carbon Black. I think I'm correct about that. So how do you clean a pen that has indelible waterproof ink in it? Since I've never used waterproof ink, that's a good question. Christopher, do you have an answer to that? Yes, you can just get the FPR nibs. Thank you, Marilyn. BJ's become fond of Diamine's Prussian Blue and its chalky blueness. Wendy's just repeating what I said. Well, if I jumped off a bridge, would you jump off too? Don't repeat what I said. And I said that? I don't remember. So Marilyn says, take the pen fully apart and use a tubs brush. A toothbrush? But with just water? You don't have to use any solvent, I hope. Pens don't like solvents. And we're coming up on 12:30 for me. That's an hour and a half. And I wanted to actually just show you this for a moment. My friend Ron sent me a New York Times article this morning, and he said this is why Doug's YouTube channel is successful. And it's an article that talks about, here we go, in an influencer economy, is attractiveness more important than ever? And it goes on to talk about how the cook shows that this person watches on YouTube have devolved from just showing recipes and cooking to having very attractive people make cheese sandwiches. And their subscriber count goes crazy. And he thinks Ron thinks that my success with YouTube and my 15,000 subscribers is because I'm so damn cute. Well, I appreciate that, but it doesn't explain this. You know, Mr. Figboot has many subscribers, and it certainly doesn't explain this. So bang goes that argument because, oh, he's so cute. Isn't he cute? Am I going to get slagged for that the next time I see Steven? He is cute. You know, it's his face that you go to his channel and watch all of his reviews for because he's so damn cute. So, hey, Andrew Hoffman from Melbourne, Australia. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for making it. We're just signing off. For all you people in Australia, good morning. George says, waterproof inks are not indelible while wet. Just don't let it get dry in the pen. Then it's harder. It's easy to clean while it stays wet. Well, yeah. It's just that the problem is that if you let the pen sit and it gets dry, how do you get that dried out indelible ink out? I would think you'd have to use the ultrasonic a lot and a toothbrush a lot. Lester Beasley says, how are you liking the Leonardo Supernova? Such a beautiful pen. It is gorgeous. I wrote with it for about an hour last night, and I'm liking it more and more and more. You have to get comfortable with a grip, and I found a place where that step doesn't bother me. The section is certainly long enough. It really, I don't write with it posted, but it's such a beautiful writer, and that broad nib on my Supernova. It was a fire hose to start with, and I sort of adjusted it a bit, and now it's perfect. So I write with it a lot. It's not going anywhere. Enzo Sikia. Thank you, Enzo. You are the best, he says. Ms. Marilyn says we're all cute in our own ways. This is true. Yeah, we're all individuals. I'm not. And so nobody has your humor. Well, I hope not. It's copyright. BJ says, if you can create a good brown, you get a like from me. If you can create a good brown ink. I don't mix inks. So I don't know. I might find a nice brown. That hazelnut brown from Faber-Castell is very, very nice. I don't know that I can improve on that. Wild Wolf says, I love my new MZ Prunia I bought for my birthday. The Prunia is a gorgeous Momento Zero. It's a stacked resin, and it's beautiful. And you know this pen always has Iroshizuku Yamabudo. Always. There's no other ink I can put in this pen. 6:30 a.m. here in Australia. Do you have daylight saving in USA? We're on standard time again, I think. That's why it's so dark at 5 o'clock. But it's 12:35 here in the PM on a Saturday afternoon, and it's 6:30 a.m. in Sydney. No, you're on the other coast. Oscar Medina says, good brown, 90% Robert Oster, tangerine, plus 10% Lammy Black. Well, there's an interesting experiment. I'll have to try that. Although it means I have to buy Robert Oster tangerine. That's much. Christian says, time to go. Have a great evening, and thanks for the nice live, Doug. And thank you, all of you out there in Inquiring Minds land, out there all around the world, for joining me today. And please join me, I don't know what the date will be, but the first Saturday in March, when we will be looking forward to spring and bring some topics with you. I've got some suggested topics for March. Leave some in the comments, what you think you want to hear me talk about or blather on about. No, I won't play my guitar for you because YouTube will take down my video for copyright reasons, because I don't play my own songs. So it's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you all in March. Don't forget my pen sale video tomorrow morning. Get there early. Get that pen. Bye-bye.